So, I don't know. Just everybody be nice to each other. Now, back to shitting on Taylor Swift.
Brunch.
Hit it, boys! The present sucks, Dawson.
Oh, why does the present suck?
Because Taylor Swift ruined Tiny Desk concerts.
I don't know if I want to say that she ruined Tiny Desk concerts, but she had a bad one.
I'm not going to feel the same way watching Tiny Desk concerts ever again. And I was super excited for Taylor Swift to do a Tiny Desk concert.
Why?
Because I find it noble that Taylor Swift, of her own doing, and because she's so great, has like ascended into this area where nobody else exists. And the only way that people are in the Taylor Swift world is if she like brings them along for a photo shoot or invites them on tour, and that's how like you get any sort of Taylor Swift level, Taylor Swift squad, whatever. You've got all these bands, you got indie bands, you got major label bands, you got headliners, you got openers, all these things. And Taylor Swift is just so separate from all that because she's like Lord forgive me, this is absolutely incorrect, but like she's like Obama. She's like this different stratosphere of human, you know, where they're just seen in this totally different level than anybody else. And it's not because Taylor Swift's better than any of these people or whatever, but Taylor Swift is like this insanely popular, insanely huge. Like even if she doesn't do something great, it's just gonna get consumed. And I feel that pretty much every other artist can't relate to that.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess it's sort of a situation, too, where it's like Taylor's so big and has so many stands that for her to do something or for her to be on something sort of validates it in a way, even if like a lot of us have known about Tiny Desk for a long, long time, and we've loved it for a long, long time.
Not to brag.
Right.
Caught a few in my day.
Yeah, I'm actually not like the biggest Tiny Desk listener, but I knew that it existed. I knew that it was a cool thing that a lot of people enjoyed. I'm sure that there were a ton of Taylor Swift stans that weren't totally aware of Tiny Desk, and now they know it, and now like they're going to be Tiny Desk people.
That's what I hope, and that's what I always say when people are like, Taylor Swift sucks. I'm like, well, you can think that all you want, but she's very important.
Right.
Because
and
what
like,
she does is going to inform how a lot of people
and that's
consume stuff.
And that's like when she did what's that song? The LGBTQ.
Oh, you need to calm down.
You need to calm down. Like she did that, and she was very late on like the like on being supportive and inclusive.
Yeah.
And people were criticizing her like,
where
oh,
was this?
Yeah, right, exactly.
But it's also like cash that check, baby.
Right. Yeah.
And by not Taylor cash check. I'm saying like LGBTQ community. Like,
right.
Hey, like you for sure use somebody huge that's furthering your message.
Right. And we talked about this like when it came out, that like I can understand why people were mad because, you know, obviously if you're in that group, it would be annoying for her to be quiet for so long where and now it kind of feels like she's cashing in on how popular like that movement is becoming. But I also think that it's a situation where like she's also spreading that message to a bunch of young people.
Yeah,
it
can be mutually beneficial.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about her being on Tiny Desk, where it's like kind of validating Tiny Desk to a lot of people.
I liked that she wanted to do Tiny Desk, and I liked that. I still don't know this, but she seemingly. I've been told I misunderstood this, but that doesn't sound like me. It seems like she wants to do like the festival circuit, right?
She's like making her own festival circuit, I think, right?
She's playing shows on the West Coast and the East Coast, and then I think, didn't she say like I want to play festivals, and where there aren't festivals or where there aren't things that I could fit into my schedule, I made them, and that's why she's got the Loverfest
that's what
Massachusetts and Loverfest California, and then in the
she's doing other festivals,
right? So that's gonna fill in the like she's doing that outside of I don't know whether it's like Glastonbury or whatever. Like I think she wants to play festivals, which I think is really cool because that to me is a sign that like, hey, yes, I'm this like untouchable giant, but ultimately I'm a musician, and I want to do what musicians do, and maybe the Taylor Swift stardom has gotten so big that I've had to lose that a little along the way, because what am I going to do? What am I not going to make my crew all this money by playing?
It feels like not an entirely selfish decision,
right? Like, so she hasn't been able to do things like that, and honestly, her live show has become so much of a production that I bet Taylor, if you got her on Truth Serum, would tell you like, man, I haven't had to like worry about my voice or think like, how did I play tonight in forever, because everything is so pretty much automated and everything is perfectly choreographed and everything is perfectly mixed, that really, while I'm sure it's very stressful musically, she's not had to endure
like
much heavy lifting. Yeah. And I'm sure as a musician, and a good one, she's probably like, you know what? I can play these festivals like everybody. I can go out there and like maybe not have the best like mix or anything like that, and I can just go out and do it. So I appreciate that she's doing that. It makes me like her more as an artist. And
also, like I just mentioned, that she introduces things to her fans. Yeah. I also like the idea of Taylor Swift being introduced to people who might not otherwise be Taylor Swift fans.
Right, who are like, you know what, we'll check out the Taylor Swift set.
Exactly. When you're at a festival, and she puts on an unbelievable show. And I'm sure that like during her course of touring these festivals, there are going to be people who go see Taylor Swift live who definitely wouldn't motivate themselves to do it otherwise outside of a festival, and they're going to come away being like, "Damn, that was pretty cool."
I promise we will get to the. I make no promises. We don't necessarily get back to things. We will get to the Tiny Desk thing, but on Taylor and the possibility of her playing festivals, and I really hope that like I did misunderstand this, and that she's not playing festivals, and we have this like big jumping off point.
I'm looking at the tour dates 2020. There's a lot of like international festivals here.
What?
Festival de Nîmes in France, Opener Festival in Poland, Roskilde,
yeah,
in Denmark.
I think that's what it's called.
Oslo Sommertid in Norway, the Waldbühne in Germany, the Werchter Boutique,
but like Roskilde or whatever is that's a huge one.
Yeah, and there's one in Portugal, another one in Brazil. Then she's got 2 in LA, which I'm pretty sure that's Loverfest,
right?
And then 2 in Foxborough, which is definitely a Loverfest.
But say she does. Let's see when these dates are. I don't know. So say she does.
Oh, interesting.
What?
So here in July 31st in Foxborough, it's labeled as Taylor Swift Loverfest East.
Yeah,
and August 1st, the next day, is just labeled Taylor Swift. So there may be only one.
The after show.
Yeah, there may only be one Loverfest sort of deal in Foxborough.
Well, let's hope that the Loverfest lineup is filled out with better guests than
fucking Walk the Moon.
What did we get? We didn't get Walk the Moon, did we? No. We got the thing that sounds like New Kids on the Block but isn't.
It's 2 people.
They're like
two people that are one hit.
KOTB. It's like Kids on the Block
yes.
or something.
Yeah.
It's such NSFW content. But did the podcast exist when we went to 1989 tour?
I believe so.
Maybe. I would think so, right? Yeah. But man, we were so excited for like who they're going to bring out. It was when Waitress was in Boston, so we're like, hey, it's a chance it's going to be Bareilles. I think, yeah, Brave was already out at that time. Like there was just the possibilities were endless. And she's like, I'm so excited to.
She was bringing out heavy hitters all over the place,
like crazy.
Everywhere. Actually, like Ed Sheeran.
I think the previous night was Walk the Moon.
Okay,
which those guys are clowns, but like
better than
those guys were charting. Those guys were
better than KB No Swag,
throwing out some hits. So she's like, I'm very excited to bring out these 2 artists, or this next guest. These are 2 incredible musicians, and we were recording it because basically all we cared about at that festival or at that concert was seeing Haim and luring Swift dads to come hang out with us. I hope we did talk about this because man, that was like one of the best days of my life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we did
3 dudes, intentionally 3 dudes with cornhole set up and like a lot of 4-person activities.
basically just like asking for it, waiting, just like screaming, "We need a fourth."
It was a tailgate Craigslist ad.
And you know,
we were like,
cool.
looking for a dad.
And this was before the bad guys took the flag, but I have a canopy, so we set up a canopy and then put up big American flag like it was like Country Fest or some shit like that. Nowadays, that's nobody take this the wrong way, but you feel weird putting up like a big American flag somewhere, and it's like, how did those guys get that?
You're right. They took red hats and the
red
flag.
hats and the American flag. That's such a huge thing. Like, I needed that.
Like, they've done a lot of bad shit, but man, they nailed it on that one, and somehow they took some really cool shit from us. Shout
out, I think our buddy Shane from Houndmouth Experiences. I think I saw that on his IG story, which is adorbs. Sign me up. I'm all in on Shane from Houndmouth's Instagram page being like a family Instagram page now. I don't know if I followed him back. Yeah, probably. He had his kid like a year ago or something like that. But I'm a big fan of musicians and like rock musicians just having like wholesome AF Instagram pages, because usually that's where the goofy shit happens. But anyway, I think he put up something recently that was saying like, damn it, I can't wear red hats anymore. If it wasn't him, it was somebody else, one of the other musicians we follow. But anyway, the potential issue with Taylor Swift playing festivals is something I've definitely experienced with other like more top 40-ish artists playing festivals. Like, you remember at Austin City Limits, we're just like trying to get from one stage to another, but Shawn Mendes is playing. Yeah, but that's so he takes over the entire day.
But that's because Shawn Mendes played at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. There's absolutely no way that Taylor Swift is not playing last anywhere she goes.
That's true. So it won't be inconvenient. It'll just be a pain in the ass getting out. But that'd be no different than if like Kendrick Lamar or somebody plays. Yeah, it's a good point. I was saying that to someone recently, though. Like, when you do drop in a Shawn Mendes into what's like primarily like indie rock, it is not necessarily for people like us, but it's like adults are trying to do drugs. Can you please move like, with your children?
Get Lollapalooza when what's her name?
Alessia Cara. Oh, that was hilarious.
That was another Twilight show where it's like we're getting into the party tonight. Like, we're already really drunk. We're gonna start getting real high soon, and see clouds going up, and there are fucking 11-year-olds.
That
everywhere.
Was so funny. We were quite drunk at that point, and like you said, like half of the audience was children, and the other half was like potheads. Yeah. So as like buzzed dudes sitting in the back observing that, like, you got Alessia Cara, this great musician on stage, and I couldn't pay a lick of attention. I'm just like watching dads with like 4-year-old girls on their shoulders, like giving like mean looks,
wafting away smoke, giving as it mean punches looks their child in the face
to kids at a music festival smoking pot. And I'm like, dude,
you walked
I know,
into
like
this,
right,
man.
Like, you had to know.
On one
Alessia
hand,
Cara or not,
right? On one hand, it's like the best thing about music festivals. It's just like a bunch of different people living in harmony, vibing over the same things.
Yeah,
and on the other hand, it's like, ooh, this is child being exposed to lots of secondhand smoke.
Yeah. Do you were you in line with me for water? You may not have been when the kids behind either us or me started smoking a joint.
I don't think so. I don't think I was there.
It was awesome. I was such a lame adult. The kids behind me started smoking a joint, and we talked about like festivals have generally become odorless other than VO because it's all vapes. And as not much of a pot smoker in my day, I really don't have much of a dog in the fight. But it was cool to turn around to like, I smell pot. And it was like I don't know, it just like reminded me of like kids my age growing up. They were probably like in 8th or 9th grade or some shit like that. They rolled a joint. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis was on my new favorite show, Time Crisis. And that's a cool cool situation to just have Huey Lewis in the house. It was a great interview. He drank a White Claw for the first time. He seemed like a really cool guy. But he was like lamenting. He was like, he was just crushing vapes because he was saying like everybody should know how to roll a joint. So I find that interesting. And kids, when they go to festivals, I guess won't get too much pot smoke from all that. But yeah, I do wonder how people will deal with like that influx of all, because they're gonna come early to like set up at the stage before, you know, like if you really want to see an artist, you go watch the person who's playing that stage before, which is generally like 2 sets before, because that stage will be blank. So you're gonna have a bunch of, I don't know, you're going to have a bunch of people like watching Glenn Danzig play or something, and then
who looks what do we say, bloated?
Oh yeah, we talked about Danzig because we saw Danzig. We were like,
ooh, he looks very bloated,
buddy,
swollen.
Yes, he does. Somebody, the reason I said Danzig is because somebody posted a picture of like a Halloween costume they did years past where they were Glenn Danzig, and they just wore like super tight clothes to make themselves look a little.
You know what he looks like? He kind of looks like he's just been like trapped in a body of water for like the last couple of years.
He looks like, wait, is it the Danzig? So the Misfits logo is like that skeleton thing, but there's a logo that's just like a face. I can't think of it. It's like a rock band's logo, but it's like a fat face, and that kind of looks like Glenn Danzig's face. So shouts out to dude. If middle school DJ were listening to this podcast, and he knew that every now and then, grown up Dave is touching on Danzig for a second, he would be absolutely psyched. So the Tiny Desk thing.
Hold on, before we get to Tiny Desk, not to delay it any further.
20 quick more minutes.
Yes, I don't know about like the weed thing at Taylor Swift's though, because a lot of these festivals are European festivals, and there are just it just seems like there's no fucking rules at European festivals.
Yeah, the
like
European
half the people aren't wearing clothes.
The kids are holding their dads on their shoulders because they're all so drunk.
Right.
They're just drinking wine.
And then like the other one are in L.A. It's like how much weirder can L.A. get?
Yeah.
So maybe in Foxborough, like, maybe that's the one opportunity for kids to be like, what the hell is going on here? But again, well, that one though,
dude,
like it's
a Taylor Swift concert at Foxborough.
It's built around Taylor Swift.
A sanitary ass or it's sterile. It's like super duper white, like just sterile. Like,
I don't know how that's even going to work.
I think that if somebody lit up a joint, and I've been to multiple Taylor Swift concerts at Foxborough. I've never once smelled pot there.
No, me neither.
Vapes or no vapes.
I feel like you'd get kicked out. Like,
I've never even smelled like the battery of a vape pen at a Taylor Swift concert.
I think there's a good chance if you light up at Taylor Swift Fest East that you might get kicked out.
Also, in hindsight, huge mess up on our part in Hotlanta. We should have like smoked some of the devil's pot before. The devil's marijuana before, because we were so close.
Yeah.
That would have been such a cool experience.
But how much would it have increased the experience? We already had the best times of our lives, just like absolutely ripping it up 5 rows from the front of the stage. Then we went out for breakfast at 2 a.m. afterwards.
Have you ever watched a concert? Don't specify. Have you ever watched a concert like very high?
Yes. I can't specify because I want to.
I think I know a concert that you were. I think I know a concert that you were very high for.
Father John Misty in Maine.
Yeah. I've watched a concert like too high, and that sucks. At least for me, like I don't really. I've come to realize in my old age, like I don't like to be even a little more than buzzed.
Zone?
No, like because I watch a concert obsessively with my undivided attention, the way that I fucking stay up all night watching YouTube concert videos. So I think I'm over being. I mean,
it's a situation where it's fine, and it's in a situation where like you can do that the next weekend. Like you fuck up, you get too drunk,
Yeah.
And you like mess up just like a regular everyday party. You're like, whatever, I'll get him next time.
Right.
When it's a show that you've been looking forward to for like a fucking year, and you blow it and you black out like halfway through the show, you're like, oh god fucking damn it. I've been there before, and it's like that sucks because you just ruined something that you've been waiting for so long.
Yeah.
You wanted to like cherish.
There are some concerts where I used to always black out at Sarah Bareilles concerts. Because my friends and I got so excited for it, and we'd like all take off work and like start drinking at fucking like 9:45 in the morning and be like, we're singing Sarah Bareilles tonight, and then we get blackout and miss the show. Probably not dissimilar from people who tailgate for who are like season ticket holders to sporting teams that sell very expensive tickets. And you just get bombed, and you miss the whole thing. Yeah. It's like, what's the point in that?
Last time that happened to me, I wasn't at the game, but last year during the AFC Championship game, I got to Mexico on the day of, and we were like, oh, pool bar. We're going to watch football at the pool bar. And the Patriots-Chiefs game was the late game on the slate. So I watched the Saints and Rams, and it was an unbelievable game, and we were just so happy to be in Mexico drinking at a pool bar that I blacked out in the second half of the Patriots-Chiefs game, and it was like the best game ever.
That's when
I woke up the next morning and I watched the game on YouTube, and I was like, holy fuck, I missed this?
Yeah. I think I don't know why I'm dancing around it. I think I'm like #sober events game.
I'm not. I mean, not sober, but
like one or like
get yourself
one or
a
two
light buzz,
one or two, something, right? Because that's also tough. I've definitely been certainly as a younger man when you drink for a little bit before the show, and then once you start drinking, you're like, look, I don't care what my plans were. I'm having so much fun drinking right now, and I just really want to keep drinking. And like suddenly you're like. You're taking breaks during the concert when they're playing your favorite songs to get more beer. Like, it's more important to me that I add a Bud Light for $9 than to hear like a song that got me through some hard times when the artist is like mere feet away from me. But yeah, I think I'm trending towards the I'm trending towards the more sober, more in control during concerts gang. But
it's interesting because it's like the more unhappy I grow with my life as I get older, the smarter decisions I make to not ruin my life.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I hinted at this a while ago. I have cut back on drinking like crazy, and I'll get it back, I'm sure. But it is it's done wonders for my anxiety.
Okay.
Which I did. It was one of those. It might be a placebo type thing, but my anxiety was really, really terrible, and I was drinking every night and like just really
leaning into it.
Yeah, just like really like something's got to help me go to sleep type of stuff. And then I just Googled like, can alcohol be bad for anxiety? And it was like,
can alcohol be bad for you?
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, it can. I don't know. It's like case by case basis. So then I like went like cold turkey for like a month, and now very sparingly, like I'm going to a basketball game tonight. I'll probably have a couple beers, but yeah, generally I'm not. That's probably the most like personal detail of my life I've ever shared on this podcast.
That's not true.
That I've slightly cut back on drinking.
That's not true. We had the Bible episodes.
Yeah, but was that so? That was like
detailing.
That was like Ellen saying she was gay.
When it was like, enough.
I think at that time like it was commonly known that she was gay, and she just like said it like once and for all, and it was like a huge moment. So I'm going to take that back. It wasn't like Ellen saying it was gay, because Ellen saying she was gay, or Ellen saying she was gay was a was like a big important moment. I'm just saying this was like a confirming something that I'm pretty sure I kind of said a million different times. I'll also say this on the Kyrie Irving thing.
Yeah,
that story came out, and a lot of people are saying like, is Kyrie Irving mentally ill? Is he this? Is he that? And then,
yeah, I wanted to get wanted to get your take on that, because you are very often the person who's like, hey, let's calm down on making fun of this person. There could be real mental health issues at play.
Yeah, I don't like that we pick and choose that.
Right, who's okay to make fun of?
This person is having a hard time. This person is, I'm going to use a cool buzzword, inherently bad. And I don't think that's fair, and I think that certainly none of us are qualified. Like I think that Kyrie Irving is a very moody, inconsiderate person, and that could come from a million different things. And I think just because that's what I ultimately think it is. Like, I don't think this is like wow, Kyrie Irving's deeply depressed and he's trying to get through something. I generally read it in my unbelievably unprofessional, uninformed opinion. Like, it just seems like he's a jerk to people.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. The stuff about Nets officials don't know what to do because sometimes he will just shut down and not talk to people at all and won't do anything, won't talk to people. That there's like a big overlap between that or with that and people who are depressed. Like, because that's something that like I identify with like
sure.
crazy. Like, I don't think that I'm as overtly mean to people.
But that also isn't like he's for sure depressed. He could just be an asshole.
Right.
And from my perspective, I understand like there are certain things where it's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't make fun of that person because they could be going through some shit. But I also think that it's very possible to recognize both sides of things. That you can say, this person may legitimately be unwell. And I think I ran into that with like a lot of the Antonio Brown stuff. I was like, this guy might legitimately be unwell.
Oh, clearly.
And I hope that he can get help if that's the case. But he's acting like an asshole,
right?
And I can call that out.
So that's what you say. You say this person's being an asshole. It could be for a bunch of reasons. And it doesn't feel good to say this guy who's harmful as fuck and doing a lot of terrible things, something's wrong with him, and maybe in a perfect world, he wouldn't have these things wrong with him, and he'd be doing it better. That said, like someone like Antonio Brown isn't handling what's wrong with them the right way, and unfortunately, Antonio Brown has nobody in his life who's like, hey man, I care about you. I want you to give me the phone. I'll put the phone in my pocket. Tell me what's upsetting you. Clearly you're upset. Like, what's on your mind? Like, let's talk through this. So, I don't know. You just said it, but I am not a fan of the picking and choosing of this person's not well and this person's just a bad person. So you never know what somebody's going through. So, I don't know. I just found it interesting because the like kind of shutting down and not talking to anybody. I'm sure like. Ladies, am I right? What was the catchphrase that I tried to start?
Am I right, ladies?
Are you with me?
Or
ladies?
are you with me, ladies?
Are you like listeners? I'm sure can definitely identify with like when you're having like a really rough time. It can be. I would think very common to just like I'm not talking to anybody. Yeah. Even like the simplest thing, like a friend, whatever, can just be like, hey. How's it going with this? And you're like, I'm not going to say a word back to this. So, I don't know. Just everybody be nice to each other. Now, back to shitting on Taylor Swift. With the Tiny Desk thing, ultimately, my conclusion was she wants to do these things. She wants to do things like the other musicians, but she's too Taylor Swift. She's like so far Taylor Swift that she can't just do a Tiny Desk concert, which is, I think, like a shotgun mic in the corner of an NPR office. You walk in with either small band, play an unplugged set, acoustic set, whatever. The space is yours. Do with it what you wish, but you've got limited resources, and it's a very small, intimate thing. Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift shows up and it's like 10 to 15 minutes long. Taylor Swift shows up with a crowd of 310,000 little kids.
And she walks in, the first thing she says, wow, there's a lot of people here.
Right. How'd this happen?
How'd these people get here?
How'd you all get in here? And then
Unless
over
it's
the
like
next-
everybody who works at NPR like brought their fucking kids because like
well, that
it's
is
such a
cool.
big
Like they want to see
deal.
Taylor Swift and everything.
Like maybe
So-
that's what happened.
So record it and have them all sit in a different room and watch it, so it can be a small, intimate thing.
Right.
Anyway, so she comes in, and then over the next half hour,
She has costume changes.
she talks and talks. And look, you're not gonna. I'm never one to judge a talker,
God, I
but
hope
she
not.
talks the entire time. She plays 4 songs.
Wait, she plays 4 songs?
Yeah.
No. She definitely does play 4 in total.
Yes.
Tell me that's wrong.
Yes.
So I made it through like 15 minutes of the Tiny Desk concert. I didn't watch the whole thing because I watched it before you got here. And I think I was on the 3rd song. And I was like, this is as far as I gotten. Sorry. You showed up. So I guess I only missed 1 song.
Here is the pie chart breakdown of Taylor Swift's Tiny Desk concert. 80% talking. 10% bad songs. Lord
10%?
forgive me. Yeah, this is going to be controversial.
Man.
And 10% good songs.
Okay.
The good songs were Lover and Death by a Thousand Cuts.
Are you saying
Now,
the song is good or
the performance.
Okay. All right.
The performance, again, gets back to why this whole thing was very different. And look, different can be good and different can be bad. This was different bad. She plays it very dramatically and big, like she's on stage in front of 310,000 little kids, which I guess she essentially just brought a stadium show and packed it in to the
she tried
NPR
to get
studio.
as close to 310,000 as she could.
Right. Stadiums hold 310,000 people. And she's just doing all the Taylor Swift-isms and all the big things when in reality, like, I would love to hear it like those voice memos on the 1989 Deluxe thing
Hell yeah.
where maybe she just sitting down with the guitar, playing the songs, and just like stripped down and again doing the things that she probably doesn't get to do musically because she's this huge big thing. And instead she just did them like she would have anyway.
My problem with it is
just
like,
without dancers.
The
and,
reason Tiny Desk is so great is because it's unlike anything else that you see in music, basically, where it's just like it's something that is completely its own thing, and artists usually go into it being like, we're going to embrace this, and we're going to do something that you wouldn't usually otherwise get to see from me or from us or my band.
Oh, yeah.
And Taylor Swift just turned it into an acoustic concert and like an intimate setting, and that's all it was.
I didn't like it.
It was, and I also think that it's the setting that doesn't really work for Taylor Swift, really.
But it could if she just sat there.
guess
And
it could.
She could have had a small band with her. Just have a little. I mean, like you don't have to just be there by yourself. I mean, Diane Coffey.
But the
like
more you strip away from
Anthony Hamilton, all these
right,
guys
but those are extremely talented people. And I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
I'm not saying that Taylor Swift isn't extremely talented, but I think that a lot of where her talent is allocated lends towards bigger, bolder things.
Right. She's a star.
So the more you strip away from Taylor Swift, and the more of these big shiny parts you take away, the more average she is.
Also,
she's
so
not
she
not
played,
a fantastic songwriter. Mm-hmm. She's not a fantastic singer. She doesn't have an unbelievable voice.
Right.
She's somebody who uses what she does have and turns it into like a big shiny like perfect thing.
Yeah.
And you can't do that in a Tiny Desk concert.
On the songwriting thing, I will say I do agree that she's not an elite songwriter. I'll always say though, I Know Places, whew, that is a songwriting clinic. So she's got some real great ones. But and another thing, you said like the more you strip away, the more kind of ordinary it is. Perfect example. She played All Too Well, which goes into the category of, I would say, like disposable Taylor Swift songs, like the very common chord progression, everything that you've kind of heard a million times. And when you just go and sit and bang that out on piano, it's nice and it's pleasant, but it's not like, wow.
Right.
It's not really going to stun you. I think that she has enough songs throughout her catalog that she could have sat down and played some really cool renditions of songs. I thought that Death by a Thousand Cuts
was very good. That
awesome.
was the best one.
And that
from
song,
what I heard.
that song rules.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wasn't for me. But I wonder if she wants to do these things that the other musicians get to do because they don't have this like I have to be carried around in a box because I'm such a huge celebrity thing, which was proven to be untrue, despite some rumors that Lambie
Perpetuated by you.
that Lambie was in there. No, there was you remember that news story?
Yes.
Yeah. Father John Misty helped to spread it by saying that Lambie was in there. But yeah, she wants to do these things like all the other musicians get to do, but then ultimately when she does them, she like does them as Taylor Swift. Right. So it just ends up being a worse, weirder version of it.
She just can't escape the fact that she like is Taylor Swift, and she always has her brand and like her image in mind, and like it's made her very successful, and I don't blame her for that at all. But she goes into everything saying like, how can I make this Taylor Swift?
Yeah. All right. Today's episode is brought to you by Porches. Fall is here, and what better time to install a new porch from Porches? With made-to-order designs to fit any budget, Porches will help you design your dream porch. Here's something I bet you didn't know. A porch with a fire pit not only makes your house the best on the block, it greatly adds to the overall value of your home. In just one day, Porches can install a brand new fire pit for your porch. Not interested in a fire pit? Porches can make you chairs, nice ones too, that'll go great on your porch. From handcrafted low-sitting wooden chairs to those plastic white ones you get at Home Depot, Porches has a chair for every occasion. Don't need a chair? Your funeral. Porches has a decent wind chime selection too. And if you're giving one as a gift, Porches wind chimes ship with a ton of paper wrapped around the tubes and clapper so it won't make any noise before they open it. No porch is complete without a couple of short glass tables where you can put plants. In addition to 3 sizes in stock, Porches can custom make you a set of those short glass tables where you can put plants in colors ranging from white metal with a glass top to brown metal with a glass top and green metal with a glass top. Thinking of freshening up your existing porch? Porches has that plastic stuff that looks like wood but doesn't soak up water or splinter. Porches technicians will lay it down and drill it in just like they would with wood, but it'll serve as a more versatile and practical base for your porch. Skimped on the fire pit and fake wood? It's screen season. Limit the damage done by Mother Nature and stay a little bit warmer on your porch with a screen custom cut by Porches. You'll still be able to sit on your porch and enjoy the fall nights with those tiny little wires blocking some of the cold from getting all the way inside your porch. With Porches, you can always show your true colors. Porches has flagpoles and flagpole holders, so you'll always feel at home on your porch. A bathroom on your... A bathroom... A bathroom on your porch? It's been done before. Porches will visit your homes, size up your porch, and see if maybe there's room for a toilet on that bad boy. You'll never have to run back into the house in the middle of a porch session again. Especially if you also have a mini fridge that blends into the rest of your porch. Porches will custom install a mini fridge made from 100% plastic stuff that looks like wood, so you can always keep your favorite porch beverages cold. Halloween is come and gone, which means Porches is having its annual pumpkin overstock blowout. If you're looking to buy hundreds of pumpkins, Porches has tons of backstock, and everything must go. Get a Porches Chain for Life membership, and you'll get unlimited chains for holding up those swinging benches that are on porches. The Chain for Life Club also includes unlimited hooks with screws on the other side that'll drill cleanly into both wood and the plastic stuff that looks like wood. Why do so many people take good care of things like their house and lawn while totally overlooking their porches? If you need a cool sign to put on your porch, Porches has a sign for every mood. Hang a sign on your porch that says, "Home is where the porch is," or take your porch on the road with a "My other car is a porch" bumper sticker. Planning an outdoor movie night? Porches offers pretty good projectors and screens that will let you watch your favorite movie or game right from your porch. Don't be a piece of shit with a bad porch. Trick out your porch with Porches. Use promo code BRUNCH for unlimited tips on how to upgrade your porch today.
Wow, thank you to our sponsor, Porches.
Porches. I wouldn't hate one of those. I wouldn't kick one of those bumper stickers out of bed.
No, definitely. Those sound like a real party trick.
My other car is a porch.
Yeah,
Get it?
Make people think that you meant Porsche,
Dude.
Porsche.
No, I mean
an actual porch.
a porch.
Boom.
Porches. Faithful porches.
Don't be a piece of shit without a porch.
Love us some porches.
I like that their projectors are only pretty good.
Yeah, that was
the bar low.
That's some honest copy they gave us. They gave us some pretty honest copy. Another reason the present sucks is because wait, is it? Let me see. Is 2:30? What time? I never friggin' know. What time is 12:30 PST American time? Is that 3:30 or 2:30?
12:30 PST. That's 3:30.
Damn. All right. Well, Haim is putting out a single today, and I have to depart before it comes out. So you're not getting Haim reaction, but the song has been described as a song about being in the thick of a depression.
Ooh.
And it's coming from Haim.
And
check my boxes, Zaddy.
And described as like the most Haim song that ever Haimed.
I love that. What do you think that means?
I have no idea. Because
Haim
is so many different things.
Haim is a pretty chameleon.
Yes.
That's not a word, but like
now it is.
Band. They not quite to the point of Bruno Mars, but they really shapeshift. They can play.
Right,
they can play
been
anything.
Accused of being derivative of like a million
of
different
every
things.
different band, right? Which is a great compliment because it shows that they can play any sort of style. I'm very excited to have new Haim. I'll say this, and I love Haim, but I don't.
Stock is pretty low.
No,
it's
just
the
like
lowest it's ever been.
I don't like and I know that it's got to come out sometime. But I don't like the big build-up in the 3:30, and I got to wait for that sort of thing. I would love for Haim to just, like, drop some stuff and say, here's a surprise drop. Because my week's been thrown off now. I'm waiting for stuff. Or I wouldn't hate if I'm assuming, like, their album just isn't done, maybe. But
wow, shocker.
Yeah. But
I'm starting to wonder if they have, like, perfectionist paralysis.
Oh, paralysis? Yeah.
I think that they might. Like, it would make a lot of sense. Because we've talked about before, like, there's never a moment in life that I don't envision Haim thinking about and making music. And
totally.
So, like, for
their phones have to be overflowing with voice memos.
Yes. And so, like, the fact that it takes so long for them to put out an album tells me that it's probably because, like, they just keep tweaking it and they keep trying to perfect it, and they don't want to put out anything that they're not completely proud of.
And that's super cool. I mean, hell, like Haim was big before they even put out an album.
Right.
Like this has been going on since the dawn of time, where they're making singles with Ludwig Göransson and Ariel Rechtshaid, and still like not just dropping an album. I'm like, you guys are keeping some awesome company and you're great musicians with like the best pop sensibilities. It's gonna be good,
right? Yeah, but I stand by the fact that I think that Haim's stock is at its lowest, or the lowest that it's been in a long time. One, because we haven't heard anything from them in a while.
Yeah,
their last album was great. I loved it.
Same,
but
I revisited it this week.
It's very cold in the sense that I haven't heated it back up in a while.
Yeah,
and their last single
there ain't
was
no
not
screen
very
to
good.
protect you. To protect that cold from getting
exactly. Those little aluminum wires are not protecting me. But
nylon mesh, what are screens made of? We'll get a Porch's technician on the horn.
Yeah, we'll get next guest on the show is a Porch expert.
Porch's technician.
Yes. But yeah, in the last one didn't do anything for me. It was so boring.
Fine. It was just like an easy breezy kind of song, which is cool. Toss that on the album.
Right. But the big thing is that it was their first single in forever.
So that's the thing. I don't know what singles are anymore. And people could push back on me when I say, like, hey, that song isn't a good single. They're like, oh, it's not a single, DJ. It's a teaser track. What the fuck? I'm like, man, I used to know everything about pop music. For me, I don't know what these words mean anymore.
Me, I'm a dumbass. I will completely admit that I know like almost nothing about music.
Did the song come out before the album? It's a single.
You're right. If it's released on its own, that is a single to me.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate if Haim did what Vampire Weekend did with Father of the Bride, which was like wasn't like 6 months before, but it was quite a while before. They just started putting out 2 songs at a time. And that was a double album that had like 20 songs, something like that, so they could afford
like
to do that.
A and B.
Right, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't hate if like Haim would do that. The massive build up to just like one song. I don't know if it works anymore.
And they could do that really, really well too, because like again, they have so many different styles that like you could put out an A side that is completely different from a B side and have them work well together.
So again, let's try to get to the bottom of what could the Haimiest Haim song mean, because ultimately the song I think of I think of like the Haimiest.
What is the Haimiest Haim song that already exists?
You know what I think it is?
What?
Well, what's your answer?
Mine would probably be "A Little of Your Love."
Yeah, really, really fun, really infectious. That's probably the correct answer. Mine was going to be "My Song 5."
That one is like so fucking weird, though. Like, but I guess that it might make it the Haimiest Haim song that ever existed.
But it's the most unique.
So that doesn't work for me as the Haimiest Haim song.
Right, because Haim songs usually have unique. Some sort of feel or a nod to somebody else. Man, though, I was listening to their second album last night. I forgot that is a great album.
It's fucking awesome.
I forgot how much the title track rules. Something to tell you?
Yeah.
That song is great. And
there's really like not a bad song on that album. As far as I can remember.
I didn't love "Founded in Silence." That was a little throwaway for me.
Yeah.
It was like I
can't even think about what that is. So maybe
it was the one that was very Viva La Vida.
Okay.
It was like but man, all the other songs. One of my favorite songs on that album, it could be my favorite song on the album, is "Kept Me Crying."
Okay.
The one I did with Rostam.
Yeah.
That song rules and has a killer guitar solo at the end. And I just love when Haim shows off.
Sneakiest one for me is "Walking Away." That's
So I think
great.
Rostam also did that one, which went like that guy rules.
Man, like reminiscing on Haim and like them putting out a fucking awesome album is getting me tingly.
This is, well, you know what? We're going to like a high school reunion or like some reunion, and the night before. Well, you know what we're doing right now? We're doing the night before a wedding.
Oh yeah,
we're like staying up and like remembering shit
and just talking about like, hey, remember this? Hey, remember this?
Yeah,
oh, yeah. I had that with Moo this week. I like rediscovered, dove back into Moo.
Yeah,
and just like forgot how fucking good she is.
Oh yeah, I mean, you put her and Diplo in a room.
Yeah. And I tweeted
walking out with magic.
And I tweeted it, and I think that it might have been discussed on the podcast before, but if you had put all the songs that she released in between her 2 studio albums, because I didn't love the last studio album. Like it was largely forgettable.
Yeah. Well, her first album was so amazing that it was a bit of a drop off,
But all the stuff that she released in between those 2 albums, if you had put that into its own album, it might be like one of the best pop albums of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
There's so many bangers that she released in between those 2 albums. And that's not even including the collabs. So like Moo's still super underappreciated, even though her last album wasn't that great.
Yo, why don't I remember the song "You Never Knew"? I'm looking at the credits on Something to Tell You, and it says,
I don't know.
You never knew. So it says it was written by Dev Hynes. I remember they did a song with Blood Orange, and that I loved it. Let's Oh, yeah. This was a very Tango in the Night Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah.
I didn't really remember. I like if you would
my shoulder, my back. And then there isn't. Is there like a go slow thing? Yeah. All right. That was Haim with You Never Knew.
World premiere.
Wikipedia says the writers on that one: Alana Haim, Danielle Haim, Esty Haim, Ariel Rekscheid, and Dev Hynes, better known as Blood Orange.
Is how do you pronounce Alana's middle name? Is it Michael?
What's Lonzo working with on the old mid name?
Mychal.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I guess there's a lot about Haim we didn't know.
Yeah.
Forgotten about that song You Never Knew. That was, the I guess you never knew what was good for you. That was a good song.
Hell yeah.
So, there's going to be new Haim. Very excited to see what Haim means. We're going to learn. Yeah, we're going to learn though about what Haim thinks of themselves. That they think this song is very Haim. Because when I was pushing Haim on people back in the day, I would always lead with "If I Could Change Your Mind."
Okay. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, but that's more like En Vogue Haim. Because there's like different.
You know, it might be like a really good Haim song is "Don't Save Me."
Yes, yeah, that's a perfect one.
Yeah,
that's really good because like there's En Vogue Haim, there's Fleetwood Mac Haim, there's Prince Haim, there's all these different ones, but then there's just like an overall vibe that is that certainly the first album is cloaked in. That's like this is just fucking Haim. Yeah. It's like cool ass beats, and it just sounds like this like cool driving thing. And Don't Save Me is a perfect example. I was looking at the track listing of Days Are Gone. Look at this run to open up the album. Falling, Forever, The Wire, If I Could Change Your Mind, Honey and I, Don't Save Me, Days Are Gone, My So Far. Really, the entire album.
But dead serious, it took me, like, when I first started getting in time, it took me, I would say, at least a year to get to the back end of that album.
Really?
I'm dead serious.
Because it starts so strong.
Because I listened to, like, the first 5 or 6 songs of the album, and I loved all those songs so much that I never went forward. Like, I just kept listening to those same 6 songs over and over and over again, and then like eventually I was like, hey, maybe I should check out the back end of this album.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs on that album is Days Are Gone, one that Esty sings, and just like the ultimate Danielle Haim beat. So good. Yeah, man, very, very excited for Haim. Good stuff. You didn't check out Jesus is King?
I did. I checked out the first song, and I didn't make it past it.
Yeah, the first song was quite not good. This is like this is a negative music episode, which is not my bag. But the first song on that album stunk. Yep. I liked the rest of it. I loved there was a song with clips, and it's very fun to hear Pusha T rap on a gospel song. Because he goes in and he's like, they're like, hey, Pusha, you got a verse? And he's like, I got something in mind. And they're like, okay, well, just remember, no cocaine stuff on this one. And he's like, ugh. Yeah. I'll be right back. Yeah. Pusha T rules.
He's so great.
One of my, we talked about this at the time. I did not like that. A shot at Drake that he took. He said that he called Drake an Uber driver.
Yep.
Which I found disrespectful because like I didn't like when people
occupation shame.
Yes, we don't occupation shame on this podcast. But it's just so random and weird to like to make Uber driver a derogatory term. Pusha T can make anything sound derogatory, and he can make anything sound like it's about cocaine. He could be like,
very true.
I operate in the fridge up above the cupboard. You're like, oh my God,
like,
he's talking about so much
coke.
Get a
custom cut porch from Porch.
Right, yeah, and you're like,
oh shit.
Oh my, dude, like kids are listening. Right, dude, watch it with the porches talk. Man, this guy in the cocaine. He never has to be talking about cocaine. And it just sounds, man, he's so great. I love him. So that song is good. The song Closed on Sunday, I thought is awesome.
I thought Closed on Sunday was the first one.
No, Closed on Sunday is the one with the very corny lyric.
Closed on Sunday, you're my Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that I heard. Isn't that the first song on the album?
No, the first one is something that sounds like it's like way too fast. It's way too well, there you go again, playing albums out of order. I knew this would catch up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so apparently I didn't listen to the first song on the album.
But you listened to Close on Sunday and you thought it was bad?
Close on Sunday and I thought it was very bad.
Yeah, Feidelberg and I were disagreeing on that one. That was the best. That's the best song on the album.
Well, I guess I don't need to check out the album then, because if that's the best song on the album, I couldn't make it through it.
I think you need to hear other things
In
before
context?
you hear that. Like
Sort of like the Taylor Swift.
It's like super
Ready for
minor
It or
and
whatever.
super not Kanye West. So when you're listening to Kanye trying to do gospel stuff, and then you get to that, you're like, this is cool.
What's been like the general reaction to the album?
I think Kanye's in a weird place where people aren't necessarily looking forward to saying that something from Kanye is good, but JF and I were talking about this. Like, it's like I'm going to keep listening to it album. Like, I think it's good, and I enjoy it, and it'll be an album that I continue to listen to. I don't think it's his best, but I didn't think it was going to be his best. I don't think it's really deserving of major criticism or really making fun of it. That's the first song is terrible, and it sounds like somebody who's never done and written gospel music before trying to do it for the first time, and it's a little rough around the edges. But whatever. Credit to Kanye trying to push boundaries and be outside the box, and currently, like, God is super important to him, so I like that he's doing that.
Okay. All right. Should I just like give up on hope that Kanye will ever be as good as like he used to be? Probably. Right?
Yes. Yeah, he was the best.
No, I know, but like he's not even close to that anymore.
I know. It's upsetting, but I mean, he was like legitimately. People. I mean, I didn't love Yeezus. I find it funny also. Like that's some growth that he's both put out an album called Yeezus and Jesus is King.
Like this is like a monumental step for him, like that documenting that he is not Jesus.
Right. This is like some John Mayer, I'm a recovering douchebag shit. So good for Kanye. I mean, another guy that you just hope is doing okay. Obviously, he's said and done some unbelievably harmful things, and I totally get people who are like, you know what?
I'm done with Kanye.
Some of the stuff that guy said is a bridge too far. I don't care what he was going through. You don't say that slavery was a choice. So I understand if people are like, look, I can't support this guy ever again, and yada, yada, yada. I mean, he's bipolar. I hope he ultimately gets better. So
I on Google, I Googled it, and 85% of Google users like this album, 4.5 rating from 210 ratings out of 5. It's pretty good. But then again, I feel like whenever I do these Google rating things, everybody on Google likes everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like the most unreliable rating source because every time you look up something, it's astronomically high.
What a bunch of fence sitters over at Pitchfork. They did the same thing that I did. They gave it a 7.2. I don't like 7.2. Give me a real score.
You're criticizing Pitchfork for having
it pass-fail.
The same review as you.
Yeah, but it's...
For agreeing with you.
Yeah. They could just be doing that, but I also feel like if you don't like it, just say it, man. I could tell by that 7.2. They don't like it. Just give it like a 4.
Pitchfork, man. Just be Pitchfork and say that it's a 1.
I was talking about that Greta Van Fleet lead the other day, thinking about it, the best. Greta Van Fleet sounds like they smoked pot exactly once, called the cops on themselves, and tried to record the Led Zeppelin album before they got there. What a man! If this is going to be a negative music episode, might as well just lean into it with a little like Greta Van Fleet talk. Those guys absolutely suck. I'm surprised. So we watched the horror classics last week, and it got me in the mood to watch Scream 2 and 3. Checked them out, rewatched them, saw them back in the day. Have for sure seen Scream a million times, but definitely never went back and watched the sequels. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that you didn't dip into that.
Yeah, no,
you should.
I should have. I would have if you had told me that you were going to do it. But no, I didn't. I have never seen the sequels.
Yeah, but I don't like to do stuff for like that. Hey, I'm watching this movie. Let's turn it into content. Like I like when it's like natural.
Okay. The one thing that you had mentioned was how stacked the cast of Scream 2 was.
Cast of Scream 2 is freaking loaded, and I tweeted out all the names, but in case you missed it, Scream 2 has
Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox,
Jada
David
Pinkett Smith,
Arquette.
Omar Epps. Yeah, everybody from the first one. So Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette. Then Jada Pinkett Smith, Omar Epps, Heather Graham,
Ooh, Lee Schreiber's back?
Liev Schreiber. Well, he's a main character.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Oh, Cotton's a big part of. Main character is a bit of a stretch, but Cotton in Scream 2 is a very attention and fame hungry person. He wants to be on Barbara Walters, and he just wants a lot of screen time. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, Joshua Jackson.
Wow. Okay. So we
Jerry
said
O'Connell is a main character.
Yeah, I was going to say, we said that Scream was the most 90s thing ever.
Yeah.
Then they went and added Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jerry O'Connell, and Joshua Jackson.
Laurie Metcalf.
God damn. And Timothy Olyphant. Omar Epps.
Oh, Tori Spelling. Yeah. Luke Wilson. It is. And a lot of these parts are small, but still.
Luke Wilson.
Just completely loaded. And, oh wait, what? That's crazy. On IMDb, it says Matthew Lillard is an uncredited guy in the background in a party scene.
That's awesome.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know this? I was telling you this before. The working title of Scream was Scary Movie.
Yes, I did not know that until you told me.
That's pretty. I like the little nod that Scary Movie then gave it. Or I don't know if Scary Movie came from like the same studio or whatever. But yeah, they were going to call it Scary Movie, but they were like, will people understand that it's like a tongue-in-cheek thing or what? So they went with Scream. But I think it's cool that they kept that name going. And then Scream 3 is on the set of a movie about the killings.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Scream 2 opens with they've made a movie about Sydney.
Okay.
That I think she didn't want made, and they still made it.
Seems like poor Sydney just like never has anything go right for her.
Yeah, and she's in college, and she's got a boyfriend, and all these things, and like
she's still sexually anorexic.
She's in a relationship.
How horny?
I
is
believe.
Scream 2?
How horny is Scream 2? I would say not very. Scream 3 also has. Why can't I think of her name? Jenny McCarthy.
Ooh,
yeah,
your personal friend,
my good friend.
Yeah,
who I mean,
she's invited you to a party, which is more than you can say for the rest of your friends.
For most people I've met in my life. Yeah, Jenny McCarthy, super nice. That one time I met her. Some people were pissed. By the way, at that
they're
Jenny like, McCarthy, yeah, cool. Anything to get an interview or do something with a celebrity. Like, who cares that like she's killing people or whatever? And I'm like,
Jesus.
Kind of have a point. She's pushing a pretty terrible message.
Yeah.
But
as Ellen party, said, so pretty cool.
as Ellen said, you have friends, and you don't have to agree with everything that your friends do or say. So, shouts out Jenny McCarthy, very very fun guest of the 2 Minute Talk Show. Yeah, dude, go back and watch Scream 2 and 3. They're good. They're solid. Okay. Also, Gale Weathers in Scream 3 works for Total Entertainment. So that was a cool reference they made to Father John Misty.
Yes, they were way ahead of everybody else. Love it.
I could see Father John Misty being like, yo, I'm going to drop a little Scream reference in here. Shout out to Creed for having just the banger of all banger songs. I always forget this, and whenever I remember it, I scream it from the mountaintops, that What If by Creed, which was for Scream 3, and that's what reminded me of it, is like the best song. And has one of the best intros. I looked it up the other day. I was like, probably once a year, usually around Halloween, I look up how to play the intro to What If by Creed, because it's so awesome. Mark Tremonti, what a guitarist.
What the fuck?
That band was stupid and weird, but that song rules.
Was it Creed the other day that we were like, what do you think Creed's up to? And
we did that one episode.
Scott Stapp,
yeah, right, yeah. We're like, what do you think Scott Stapp's up to? Nah, don't listen. Is the music video?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
David
the music
Arquette's in
video.
it.
No. Wait, did they skip over the intro?
I guess.
Okay, they skipped over the guitar intro, but all season feel like I'm drifting down by the world's man who had no ground. My friend remember there. Then he goes, when your axe is cut, the roots are pretty damn. Forked tongues and bitter miles could drive a man to bleed from inside out.
Oh, man.
What if you dare? What if you lie?
And that was DJ's Tiny Desk concert.
What if I for an eye? And then the middle section is like the super cool riff. It's like this song fucking rules. But check out
Creed.
Check out the
Pretty good
beginning
band.
of that song, Creed. Take it away, Father John Misty.
In the suburbs I learned to drive, and they told me we'd never survive. Grab your mother's keys, we're leaving. You always seem so sure that one day we'd fight in a suburban war. Your part of town against mine, so we're standing on the opposite shore. But by the time the first bombs fell, we were already bored. We were already bored. Sometimes I can't believe it. I'm moving past the feeling. Sometimes I can't believe it. I'm moving past the feeling again. Kids wanna be so hard, but in my dreams we're still running and screaming through the yard. And all the walls that they built in the 70s finally fall. All the houses they built in the 70s finally fall. Meant nothing at all. Meant nothing at all. It meant nothing. Sometimes I can't believe it. I'm moving past the feeling. Sometimes I can't believe it. I'm moving past the feeling and into the night. So can you understand why I want a daughter while I'm still young? I wanna hold her hand, show her some beauty before all this damage is done. And if that's too much to ask, if it's too much to ask, then send me a son. Under the overpass, under to the parking lot. We're still waiting, it's already past. So move your feet from hot pavement and onto the grass, 'cause it's already past. It's already past. Sometimes I can't believe it. I'm moving past the feeling. Sometimes I can't believe it. I'm moving past the feeling and into the night. I'm moving past the feeling. I'm moving past the feeling. In my dreams we're still screaming. In my dreams we're still screaming. In my dreams we're still screaming.